Meantime, the state of Oregon is stepping in to help the city of Portland create safer streets. A letter from Governor Kotek to Mayor Wheeler is offering a potential fix.
Fox 12's Drew Marine joining us live to tell us what the governor's solution is and what the agencies involved have to say. Drew.
Yeah, in that letter, Kotek says Oregon State Police can't help with regular patrols in Portland due to staffing, but says they could help address concerns regarding racing, street takeovers, and drunk driving enforcement. Portland has seen a number of street takeovers in the last few years where cars block roads or even bridges and drive dangerously as crowds of people stand by and watch. In at least one street takeover at Southeast 7th Avenue in Morrison, a witness says it took Portland police a half hour to get there. And street racing has also claimed the lives of multiple Portlanders. Now, in a letter sent in February but just released this week, Governor Tina Kotek offered Oregon State Police troopers to help Portland police address concerns around racing, street takeovers, and drunk driving enforcement on a monthly basis. She says Mayor Ted Wheeler initially asked for regular patrols on Portland highways, but due to staffing, she said that's not possible. This proposal is something Portland Police Association President Aaron Schmit says is encouraging.
You know, to do the missions, you have to have a lot of different things in place. There's a lot of frustration around the inability to respond to those things because, I mean, again, they're very dangerous. They manifest themselves in really large, we've had shootings, we've had, fatal car crashes that have kind of spawned from them. I think officers in Portland in particular are thankful for any help we can get.
In a statement, Kotek's office says she's pleased with the collaboration between the two agencies to address street racing and drunk driving. It goes on to read, quote, "The mayor and the governor have also agreed to ask the legislature for additional dollars to clear the law enforcement training backlog over the next 2 years, which could require as much as $6.8 million and add additional classes and trainers on top of the governor's budget." And Mayor Wheeler says he appreciates Kotek's efforts to improve public safety. He sent a statement that reads in part, quote, "The partnership between Oregon State Police and Portland Police Bureau to increase traffic, DUI enforcement, and street takeovers will save lives." For now, it's too early for Portland Police to say what the partnership will look like, but they say they're looking forward to it. We also reached out to OSP, which says this isn't the first time they've worked with PPB and says they're committed to continuing the partnership. Live from the mobile newsroom, Drew Marine, Fox 12 Oregon.
Drew, thank you.